one by using two approaches. One is by importing the data in your Power BI. Okay, it's a blind approach. People will, like, whoever practicing, whoever learning, they will follow this approach. Okay, if you don't have a proper practitioners, if you don't have a proper the experts in your team, the people will blindly follow this approach. They'll simply load the data and they are going to develop whatever they want to do it. So here also I am doing that approach, and but that one, it is not a proper approach. So here I loaded the data, and then after yesterday I mentioned a couple of requirements. We need to do a dimensional modeling. So dimensional modeling is very important. Why? Because what is the need of dimensional modeling? Jahanavi, can you tell me one use case or one use why we require dimensional modeling? Why you need to create dimensions? Jahanavi, able to hear me? Hello?
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning. Fine. Jahanavi, able to hear me? Yes. Can you tell me one use of what is the use of dimensional modeling? What is the use of modeling, or why? What is the use of dimensions? You are muted. Arpit.
So what would happen is, like, we will have one fact table and various dimension tables, and while using it in calculation, we will use the dimension table to display the data.
To display
Because dimension table will have distinct records, and fact tables will use the dimension tables.
who is the dimension tables for what?
For visualization, generally we use the dimension tables.
So that is what I am asking. Why? We are saying that yes, we are going to use it. Yes, we are going to use it. Why?
Because it will have the it will have the distinct records.
So distinct records, if that is the answer, like whatever the approach that you select, whatever the visualization that you use, the visualization you will take the distinct value only. If you take a bar chart, pie chart, anything, even we don't have a dimensional model, if you take the value from a fact table also, you are going to group by on a distinct values. So that answer not makes clear picture.
Now suppose, like we discussed yesterday, there was, for some cities, some book names are not there, and we want to showcase that, okay, these all book names are there, but there is no sales for that book name. So if we use dimension table, then only we will see that, okay, these books are there, but there is no sales for that particular book in that particular city. If we use if we use only the fact table, that all the cities won't come, only the cities with the sales, only those cities will be shown.
Perfect. So that is the main purpose of it. Okay. So whenever you want to showcase the outer join functionalities, okay, even though if you have a sales or not, if you want to showcase the information, you can use the dimension tables. And I told you, I showcased you the bar chart. If you are accepting the value from a child table, even though you are making a replace, even though you are providing that if there is no value 0, nothing will happen. The bar chart values will not be fixed at a single place, but in a live environment, more customization will be happened. On a bar chart above or below, they want to showcase some other thing value, which is relevant to that one, which is relevant to that bar. So whenever, if your bar chart, the bars are not fixed, the bars are moving. If it is dancing like middle, left, right, or center, whatever the customization that you have done, that is waste. So like whatever we discussed yesterday, even though there is a value available or not, if you want to display the value, you are going to use the dimension table values. And another thing is, if you want to control the position of a bar chart, you are going to use not only bar chart. If you want to control the position, you are going to use the dimension values. In order to accomplish that kind of requirements, you need to have a dimensional model. Okay, that is the reason yesterday we created a separate dimensions for all these things, like city and a book, everything. City, books, sales. Yesterday we done city 5 and state as new query. So as part of our yesterday's example, we understood that dimensional modeling, as part of it, we created a schema, and whenever the measures are created, we replace a blank with 0 to represent all the values. This is what yesterday we done. And then after, once the model was created, so here state and city and a book name we created, and yesterday I think we created one date dimension table also. Let's create that one also. We created one dim date table. Here the calendar of start date and the date of 2013 first month, first day to 2018 12th month 31st. I'm just creating that year and month columns. Give me 1 second. month name we sorted based on a month name. So our transaction date and this date we are joining. Okay, fine. So till here yesterday we done like dimensional modeling. We need to create dimensional modeling. Like we create from our fact table whatever we have. You created the dimensions. So generally, like you are going to create your dimensions based on your source system information by taking the distinct values. We are going to create it. But anyways, here whatever the values that we have, I create separate dimensions and a date dimension I created, and then after perfect Jahnavi. Yeah, that is what the requirement. And like we created dimensions and we provided relation between them. Thereafter, the first requirement that we have, book-wise maximum amount paid. So we calculated like as part of our sample data, we created one measure saying that maximum amount paid equal to, I provide like this, where x equals to the maximum of amount paid, return if is blank of x. If the x value contains a blank value, then return 0. Otherwise, mention that whatever x has mentioned. So we calculated one measure called maximum amount paid. So, book-wise maximum amount paid. So book name-wise maximum amount paid. For that, the book name we took from here. Okay, so let me enable that y-axis and x-axis and enable a data label. Fine. Now book wise the amount paid is there or not, we are showcasing. Now if I select a drop down okay, we are getting the values, that is fine. And so you are able to see that this is what we observed yesterday. Now so till here we are done, and then after book wise maximum amount paid we calculated, city wise last 7 days the number of transactions we need to represent over last 7 days. I think here we got some issue which stopped it. So first of all, the last 7 days transactions, leave about the last 7 days. Whenever you have this kind of thing, last 7 days the sales amount, last 7 days sales amount, or last 7 days number of transactions, or whatever last 10 days calculation if you have, you don't need to worry at all. Perform a calculation as a generic, okay, number of transactions, new measure, transactions. Number of transactions equal to the count of the transaction ID. We have a unique transactions are there, transaction ID I calculated. So you can see that the number of transactions are nothing but 527. But your requirement is last 7 days, how many transactions are there? Last 7 days, I think we have 7 transactions only will be there. Fine. So if you want to represent the last 7 days, what you need to do is get the date column. Get the date column, and there select a top n. You need to mention top 7 days. Here you are getting the blank number of transactions. Last 7 means you are not getting anything. So yesterday we stopped here. Okay. So now let's continue from there. The number of transactions and date also will mention. We are not getting any dates. Okay. I repeat, any guess why you are not getting the data? If you want, I will showcase all the tables. You understand what we are doing? Everyone able to understand? Our requirement is city, like first of all, last 7 days number of transactions I want to represent. I created a measure which can give last 7 days like number of transactions. What I want to do is I want to provide a filter. I want to provide a filter on a date by selecting a last 7 days. Okay, so here it is not coming.
So, yeah, instead of this CD, can you go to date and advanced filter?
First of all, like can you understand why we are getting a blank value over here?
Yeah, maybe in last 7 days we do not have any transaction.
We do have a transactions, right? We do have a transactions. So that is what I updated our table that like a transaction date in a descending order. You are able to see that today you have a transaction. We have.
No. If we go to the filter, can you please go to the filter? In filter, go to advanced filter.
I don't want to go to advanced filter. Okay, anyways, advanced filter fine.
Okay, top 7 earliest date filter by show.
The issue over here is like we are using a column to filter that measure from a date dimension. You are taking a column which is a date dimension, right? So here the date I captured from here. If you observe that one, or if you observe this one, so the date column that we have from a table 1, which is a date dimension. The date dimension, what is the end value? The end value is December 31st, 2018. December 31st. It is going to take the last 7 days value over here. So that is making a issue. That was the culprit. Okay. So that is the reason, as you don't have the records for 2018 December, you are not getting any values. Clear, Arpit?
Yeah, clear.
So most of the companies, they will create a date dimension table till 2020, till 2025, 2050 also. Okay, so they will create a date dimension like that, and then after they are going to work on it. But whenever they are working on it, if you don't have the date dimension till today, it is going to make a mess. Like it is going to impact or it is going to make some issues. So what you can do is you can control the date dimension till today. Okay, so what we done, we done that was 31st December. I don't want like that. I want till today. Okay, so if I update till today, what is the last date is today's date. Now go to the report. It is showcasing last 7 days. You have a 6 transactions are there. The last 7 days you have 6 transactions are there. It is representing. In last 7 days you need to get a 7 transactions, right? What was the issue over here? So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, or let me modify this one to represent only date. Three days, last 1 day. Okay, so 31st we have a record, and sales data 31st we have a record. Anyways, it might be a date issue, and that is fine. So last 7 days it is showcasing the 6 records are there. So why it is showcasing this one is I made some nonsense that I took destination values today. So it is going to give the current date and time. It is impacting the 6 and 7. Okay, so that is not a big deal. So if you want to get last 7 days or last 30 days, last 15 days, you can mention like this, and you can display the data. Okay, now you want city wise last 7 days number of transactions. Fine, that is fine. Like city wise the number of transactions, and here we want last 7 days. So last 7 days, here city wise number of transactions for last 7 days. Again you are going to keep a date filter, and you are going to mention it as like each city having how many, and 1 2 3 4 5, we have 8 cities are there, but is representing 5. If you want to represent everything, what you need to do is you need to provide a value 0. Understand now for the answer that you given, Arpit, or we had a discussion. So if you take the value from your parent table or a dimension table, it is not giving all the values. Okay, we must replace the value of that measure with a 0 also. Okay, so some var x equal to 0, var x equal to count, and if, and the return if is blank of x, if it is blank value then 0, otherwise x. Now it is giving the zeros also. So if you are simply taking the value from a parent table, then also it is not giving anything. You need to make sure that if you don't have value, you need to pass a 0. So now it is displaying everything. Okay, so city wise last 7 days transactions are fine. Now the next one is number of transactions are a sales amount today, yesterday, last 7 days, last 30 days. This would be a most common requirement. If you consider Jahnavi, whatever the report that I shared with you, which contains only two things at that time, number of units sold and a sales amount. The same thing was like carried out on the complete report with different dimensions, with different visualizations. Here also, you will like as part of any report, the KPIs will be very less only, but the way of representation will be different. So city wise, state wise, book wise, day wise, today, yesterday, and last 30 days, last 7 days, and as part of that, weekly average, monthly average, daily average. Okay, so like that, the same KPI will be represented or repeated n number of ways. So, so here now the next one is we need to represent the number of transactions or amount paid in these categories. At the time, like as I said, you already captured the number of transactions, and you need to capture a measure the amount paid also. Sales amount equal to sum of amount paid. So here also I am capturing x equal to sum of amount paid. Next, return if is blank of x, the sum value is blank, then send a 0, otherwise send x. Okay, so sales amount I captured. Sales amount, number of transactions, both we have. Now what you want is you want to represent a KPIs like today. The next one is yesterday. The next one, sorry, and today, yesterday, last 7 days, and last 30 days. It's not MTD. MTD is going to give the sum from a first of this month to this one. Let's assume today is 15th. So MTD will give you last 15 days sum, but I want last 30 days. Okay, let's consider the sales amount I require today, yesterday, last 7 days, and last 30 days. This you can accomplish by using it two different ways. I hope you understand my requirement. We need to represent the number of transactions, comma, sales amount, two KPIs. We need to represent for today how much, yesterday how much, last 7 days how much, and last 30 days how much we need to represent. You can achieve this one by using it two different ways. One way is simply provide like a date filter. So everywhere mentioned, let's consider the number of transactions only. Everywhere mention the number of transactions. Then after provide a filter that today, like mention a a date value over here, and here the top one of date. Okay, and yesterday you need to select you can mention that yesterday means yesterday you cannot get it. Okay, yesterday you cannot get it over here, and last 7 days you can get it as select top 7 with respect to date, and the last 15 days or last 30 days, yes, you can get it top n last 30 days. Yes, we can do it. Okay, now I am without DAX, I am representing this one. So whenever you want to represent last today and last 7 days, last 30 days, last 15 days, without writing a DAX function, you can filter with respect to date. That automatically filter every day, and it is going to display the data. So here you don't require any DAX. But whenever you want to achieve yesterday, you need to write a DAX expression. So if you want to represent only the KPI number, you can achieve without writing a DAX by providing a filter, date filter, which is a dynamic. Last today, 7 days, 30 days, 15 days, whatever. That is one way. And there is another way is there, where for each and everything you are going to calculate separately. Okay, so how you are going to calculate is by using a DAX. Like here you are going to create a new measure. I am saying that like number of transactions underscore today I am mentioning, and here we are going to calculate number of transactions which is already there, where like here you are going to validate your date related of where the table 1 of date equals to today. Okay, so you are going to capture a measure. You are going to capture a measure like this. So we are going to calculate the number of transactions. The number of transactions is equivalent to we are going to capture a number of transactions. There the filter is in a transaction date table, wherever the date equals to today. Today means it is going to give the current day value. So wherever it is matches, it is going to get like today. If it matches with a transaction date, we are going to get the number of transactions for today. And for yesterday, I am capturing this one, and I am creating a new measure. Yesterday, how you are going to calculate is you are going to calculate the number of transactions. Here you are going to write a condition that like transaction date, we have a previous day function is there. The new column specified by this one, previous day returns a previous day. So what we can do is so here what I am doing is I am going to match the date table. I am validating the date table which is equivalent to the previous date of the date. So here one second, previous day has been used in the true or false expression. So one second. No need to worry at all. I can write a logic like anything. So we are going to calculate the number of transactions, and here what we are going to do is you require yesterday's data, right? So what I will do that the transaction date in a date dimension, the date I am matching with, you have a date add function is there, is equal to the date add of table 1 of date, comma, number of intervals -1, comma, the interval is day. What it is going to return? It is going to return yesterday. Okay, so here will not give. Okay, fine. How we are going to write a logic is date add of table 1 of date, comma, yesterday means how it is going to validate equivalent to today. It is nothing but you need to add a one date for whatever the dates that you have. If you add a one day, that must becomes today, right? If that was matched, then you can consider it as yesterday. So I captured like this. Once again, the date add has been used in the true or false condition. Date add, this is not a valid. One second. Table 1 of date equivalents to today. We provide a condition. At the same time, for capturing yesterday, new measure. A function data has been used in F2 or false expression that is used as a table filter expression. Just a second.
I think you have to close the calculate function that is open.
We are not closed. We are closed, right?
No, data is closed. Calculate means before you have to, yeah, here you have to close. I think after day you have to close it equal to today.
No, no.
Yeah, not after today. Yeah,
Is it?
I think so.
No. Like here, what we are doing is, the intention of doing this one is we are going to calculate this one, and here we are going to write a condition in such a way that how to calculate yesterday is nothing but whatever the value that you have as part of a dates. If you add a one day, that must becomes a today. Today is
Okay,
the
okay, okay.
function which is representing today's information, right? So if I have like 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, all these things, if I add a 1, it will not become a 31. So after adding 1, we are validating is it equivalent to today's date or not. No. Whatever.
Yeah, but date add, I don't think we can use that with date add. We should have some if function or something to compare this date to today.
So like a calculate of this one and previous day of or what I can call it as next day of table 1 of date is equivalent to today. There has been used a true or false expression. There has been used a table extended expression. We need to write a condition. So once again, the date add and next day or previous day, these are going to return a tables. So has been used like we need to provide stable filter expression, like we need to provide a condition over here. Every day I'm missing something. What is this one? How it will accept the today? So today also the table of date equals to today we mentioned. So similarly, like we need to get one measure which can filter this table. So that is nothing but, so here we need to get like table 1 of date. Why can't we get like the max of date add of transaction date minus 1 the day? What it is going to return? It is going to return maximum value yesterday, right? One day we are removing, and out of the complete table we are capturing a maximum value, or you can call it as you are going to add one day for the existing days. You are capturing a maximum value which is equivalent to today. Column reference as an argument. 1 second. You're able to see my screen, right? I thought that it was fine. Just give me a minute. Only Balaji. We need to provide probably 1 of day equals 2. You need to get the previous. We need to get only one value over here. That value must be yesterday, and here the previous day, next day functions are returning their tables. Previous day of leave it. So there is some issue is there. I extracted to give to Jahnavi on that day. So okay, so for yesterday we filtered based on by adding a dim date. So fine, I don't want to mention everything over here. I'm stopping here. We'll continue from here in the next session. So we'll close this one tomorrow. Okay, so the number of transactions and sales amount and MTD YTD calculations, and then after we'll go through with the data tools and we are going to how to establish a framework for it, like database, tabular SSAS, and then after establishing a live connection and configuring a gateway and calling a jobs for end-to-end activity. We'll see that one tomorrow and we'll close this activity. Okay, so if required we'll continue for 1.5 hour session tomorrow and we'll close this one. Anyone has any questions up to here? Project will share the Jahanvi. Okay, so yesterday didn't had a chance, I will share the project. Perfect. Thanks much. We'll connect in the next session and we'll close this one. Have a good day. Bye now.